The reason that we use the English Standard Version is because we think the English Standard Version is accurate and readable. So if you think of like an XY chart, which looks like a right angle, an XY chart on the Y-axis or the vertical post there has to do with something called accuracy or formal equivalence. And then on the X-axis, it would be readable. And so the goal is to have something that is both readable and accurate. If you do a XY axis, so it goes up at like a perfect 45-degree angle, that's typically called dynamic equivalence. And that has to do with something that strives to be readable and accurate. And that would be things like the NIV. The NIV is readable and accurate. And the NIV is a very good translation. But the NIV over the years has compromised a little bit in certain areas, specifically related to the way they present some issues of gender. But the English Standard Version has been pretty strict. So when I was in seminary, basically, we all used the New American Standard Bible, and which hadn't been updated since like 1974. They just updated it in 2020, but I don't like the changes. So in English, the English Standard Version was just coming out in 2001. And the ESV was an update of the 1971 RSV, Revised Standard Version, which was basically like a British version of the King James. And so that was an extension, King James to RSV to ESV. And so the ESV is very accurate. It's more on the formal equivalence side, which makes it really good for studying and for preaching. But if you struggle with the ESV, I think it's totally, because it is like a 10th grade reading level, I think. I think the New Living Translation that was redone in 2014 is a great translation, especially for devotionally. And so I have no problem suggesting people to read the New Living Translation devotionally. But I do think if you're preparing a sermon or something like that, then the ESV is a great choice, or the NASB or the KJV, because they tend to, because they're more word for word, you have nuances that you don't see in the phrase for phrase or concept for concept translations, which is the big difference. Word for word, sentence for sentence, phrase for phrase, concept for concept, paraphrase. That would be the spectrum.